Hey everybody, Dr. Quad, the doctor is in. This will be my first blog or vlog. I usually do talks, usually every semester I do a talk for University of Connecticut for the diversity class. Not able to do that this year because of the craziness of the world right now. I figured I would ask or answer some of the most common questions, put them up on the channel, and maybe make it a series, like a day in the life kind of thing. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. My injury, how was I injured? I have a spinal cord injury. I was injured in a diving accident. Right after I graduated from high school, I was 18 years old. I was working for the recreation department for the town. And at the local swimming area, I did something that I'd done 100 times before. I ran along the beach, took 3 or 4 giant steps in the water, dove in, not from a height or anything, must have had my head tilted a little bit too far forward, and it dislodged my 4th and 5th vertebrae and left me immobile with no sensation from the shoulders down. The interesting part of that is there was an EMT training class going on at exactly the same time. So I was there instant guinea pig. Pain, temperature, and vibration stops at the shoulders, but light touch kind of diminishes the farther down my arms that you go. Yeah, so right now I have no sensation or movement from the shoulders down. So I'm considered a quadriplegic because it affects all 4 limbs, or officially tetraplegic is the actual term. What was the transition back to home like? Well, I rehabbed out in Colorado. I was out there for 4 months, and when I came home, my parents were my caretakers. So they modeled a room in their house with a bathroom, a shower, and a spot for my bed. And they also did 2 ramps, one on the outside and one on the inside. Like I said, they were my caretakers. Wasn't really cool. Kids don't get along with their parents every now and then, and so it's really hard to tell your parents, to go fuck off and then ask them for a drink of water because you really depend on them. It doesn't work that way. For me to allow them to be my parents again, I had to get my own caretakers, my own CNAs, PCAs, if you will, and they're the ones that assist me on everything. Whether it's getting up in the morning, getting dressed, bladder management, bowel management, skin management, transferring me from my bed to my chair, from my chair to my bed or into the shower, helping me with food, breakfast, lunch, dinner. I have my own van, but I don't drive it, so I need someone to drive me places. Basically, arms and my legs is what they are, but they're not robots, they're people too. And I really enjoy my privacy, and sometimes that's difficult, but I depend on them, and that's one of the tough times is sometimes they aren't always as dependable as I would like. But for the most part, they are. It works for me, and I wouldn't be able to be where I am without people to help me like that. Comfortable with being injured. Sometimes I'm not comfortable with it now. I've been injured for over 30 years. And sometimes I'm not comfortable with it, especially if I get frustrated or, there's something wrong with me medically or health-wise. I was a shy person when I first went to school or was first going out. Throw on an injury where no one else was like me, and that was horrible. Eventually just overcame it. For me, it was just anxiety, and I knew that was just something that I just had to get over by just doing what I was going to do. I was going to go to college anyway. I just figured out what I had to do and did it. There wasn't a lot of technology back then. That's one of the advantages of, if it's an advantage of getting injured now, is there's so much technology out there. It's so much easier. And I didn't have that then. It was all old school stuff. I had to get over my fears and ask for a lot of help. Just sometimes pure strangers. The more I did it, the more comfortable I was, even though there's bouts of discomfort every now and then too. How did I adapt my job and my house to my injury? Where I am a therapist. I got my degree at UConn. In my office, I made it a point to make it out of my home. The way I was able to do that is when I first came home from rehab, my brother gave me a book and a computer game. I was like, how am I going to do this? Like, I can't read a book. I can't hold it. I can't play a computer game. And then after a couple months of just sitting around doing nothing or watching soap operas, I got kind of frustrated. I said, all right, we're going to figure this out. So I basically just put a tray on my arms with some pillows, and I mean, it was a floppy disk. Might and Magic number 2. If you know that game, man, we should talk. But it was, stick it in. My computer didn't even have a hard drive. Played that game, and then I figured out, like, I could put a book on a little tray, on the pages with a mouth stick. I didn't even know what these things were until I had to finally figure them out and look for them. And then I decided, what would make this easier? So I made a desk that I could roll under, and everything was on the desk. So I put a computer on a desk, a reading tray, mouth sticks all lined up with a trackball, and that's history. I mean, that made me very independent academically, entertainment as well. I could play computer games on my own now. So I have that in my office now. I've got the same desk, basically the same setup as I had so many years ago, and allows me to do my own case notes, fax, print, whatever. It allows me to be independent because I have, again, separate entrance, so I've got my own office in my house. And my house allows me to be as independent as I can. I've got ramps that go up to the back deck, through the garage, to the office. I've got like an environmental control unit that is too in-depth to go into here, maybe for another video, but that allows me to be basically as independent as I can. I don't need someone to stay here all the time. So they help me when I need to, and if I'm alone by myself, then I can do what I need to do. What do I like to do? I like to do things just like everyone else. I mean, most importantly, I like to spend time with my 2 nieces and my 2 nephews who are, gosh, let me think, 2 are almost 14 now, another's 12, another's 11. Sometimes they're a pain in the ass, just like all other kids are, but they're also a joy to play with, spend time with. We play games all the time. They know me as Uncle Mikey. I've always been this way to them. They've only known me injured. To them, this is just normal. I'm always the guy that gets the new games to experiment on and see if we like them, see if we don't. Do that during the summer. That's a really great time. Other things I like to do, I like to read, watch movies, watch TV, just like everyone else. Love football, go Steelers. Hopefully they're gonna, as I record this, they play tomorrow night, Monday night. Hopefully they kick the Giants' ass. My nephew's a Patriots fan, trying to convert him. That's the one thing that's wrong with him. And then, other things. Huge passion in video games. Love gaming. That's why I've got this channel. COVID kind of stopped the client flow and made me kind of think about things. So I wanted to use that creative outlet that brings attention to the quad stick that I use. Maybe attention to some other charities that people could donate to if they want to. Also keeps me accountable for games. Sometimes a game I might just shut it off if I get bored with it, but no, this allows me to finish it all the way to the very end. But I like all those things. Can't really do it as much now because of COVID is around, but I like going to concerts, going to comedy clubs. I don't go to the bar as much unless it's for watching some kind of a sporting event of some sort. Yeah, we gotta kick this COVID's butt so we can, all enjoy those outdoor activities again. Do I hope to walk in the future? That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I've heard about breakthroughs in research all the time. And does it really get me excited? Maybe when I was first injured, because I was kind of always hoping that 3 or 4 years goes by, and I go back to where I was beforehand. That's not a big deal. It's been 30 now. So if there was some pill that would cure me, I mean, that'd be easy, but who knows what kind of side effects. It would be another big change. I'd have to go back to rehab because, I've been injured for 30 years. It's like being in a body cast and not moving for 30 years, or a car sitting in your driveway or sitting in your yard for 30 years and then expecting it to work just by turning the key. Not gonna happen. I can't say I wouldn't think about it. Maybe I would get some function back, but who knows what kind of other changes or complications might come from that. I'm really used to how my life is right now. Even though it is different, it is my life. To revert back to what I thought I would want, or it's not an easy yes answer, if that makes any sense. I've had a lot of positive experiences. Because of my injury, I felt like I've helped a lot of people. Because of this situation, all that wouldn't either be able to continue or happen. I wouldn't be able to draw as much attention as I'm able to. So it's just not a real simple yes or no question, no answer. So how do I deal with negativity, or like what would I say to someone that's newly injured? They kind of go part and parcel. You're gonna be negative, you're gonna be down when you're first injured. I wanted to kill myself. I didn't want to live like this. Then I didn't know how to do it. There was no way I could do it. Even if I wanted to now, I don't, but if I did, what would I do? Drive down the street? I could drive off to my road try to hit the pond, but chances are I just get stuck in the mud and I have a bunch of frogs like staring at me. What are you doing, you idiot? I'd probably make things worse, if anything. So yeah, you're going to be negative, you're going to be down. The only thing I would tell people is, and for me, sometimes when I was first injured too, it's like I was an athlete when I was first injured. So I was used to being a participant, but now I'm more of like a spectator. I cheer people on instead. That is a difficult role change. It's all about change. And no one expects to have an injury, or everyone thinks they have a certain course their life's going to go, and then it does a complete 180. That 180 can spin around again, and you can rethink things or find meaning like I did. I mean, I've helped a lot of people, and that helped me allow my situation to become a little less negative, a little more positive, and a little more productive, I guess. I found that once I was able to contribute, then it kind of made me have meaning, and see the situation as not that bad. And really the big thing too is most of the things that prevented me in my mind they were just in my mind. It was all about anxiety, about being, uncomfortable. And that's really all anxiety is discomfort. And so what I would encourage someone to do is just get out of bed if you can, and just ignore anxiety, or just know that that's discomfort. And the more you do things, the easier it'll get. And just get out there and experience.